welcome to my series where I guess the end of a movie after watching 15 minutes of it. Today's movie is Unhinged. Okay, the movie summary reads, Academy Award winner Russell Crowe stars in Unhinged, an edge-of-your-seat thriller about something we have all experienced, road rage. So, Russell Crowe is probably the road rager, and that's all the summary gives us. We'll have to see how it pans out. I will go and watch the first 15 minutes of the movie, and then come back with predictions for how the rest of the movie will go. Be right back.
Spoke with a neighbor about the suspect's history of substance abuse and violence after a workplace injury.
She had a restraining order on him. And now she's gone. He just...
You're gonna be late again. Found him. Under one of your piles of trash.
Hey, science has proven that piles are the most efficient violence system.
I read that somewhere.
Those are actually my coupons.
No freeway. Okay, well, just check the traffic for me, please. You don't have the passcode anymore? Not since I almost crashed trying to unlock it.
It's Dad. Can I please talk to him? You got the tickets for the game tomorrow?
Yeah, look, about the game. Okay, but I promise we'll make a plan to go to a game soon. Just as soon as I...
Yeah, well, it probably shouldn't be planned. It should be more a spur of the moment thing, right?
Okay, I have returned. I watched the first 15 minutes. I have to say, I feel like the opening, it was a missed opportunity. We get an opening showing how this unhinged man, well, that he's already unhinged, and he murders some people, his ex-wife and her new boyfriend or husband, and burns their house down. I think it would have been much scarier to have someone, I'm presuming because this has not happened yet, but I feel like this is a missed opportunity because if we would have only met this man at the time of the incident, usually someone will flip you off, honk, roar past you angrily, that kind of thing. That's the kind of road rage that's more typical. Maybe you'll get a cuss word out the window. This would have been better to have it happen, whatever happens, and then trying to figure out just how far this guy will go. Is he going to hurt them? Is he just trying to scare them? Is he capable of killing? We don't know. That kind of thing. Maybe he's done and he'll stop. And then he shows back up. I feel like that's what would have made a really thrilling movie, not really knowing what could happen. But instead, with the opening, this guy already murders 2 people, is popping pills, staring at lit matches, heavy breathing, crazed look in his eye. Like, come on, there's no subtlety at all. This guy is totally off his rocker, huh? He will murder you for something that pisses him off. That's too much. Now there's no anticipation. Then we're introduced to Rachel, her son, Kyle, her brother, Fred, his girlfriend, Mary, and their neighbor, Rosie. Technically, you also get introduced to their mom, who is on some kind of video call on the computer very briefly. She's in a home, has some kind of dementia or Alzheimer's, it sounds like, and they're all living at the mom's house. So the main character is going to be Rachel and her son, I assume, since they're the ones in the car right now. She's taking him to school. Yeah, so it's not like this is a bunch of rowdy teens or rather young adults that tend to get targeted in movies where they're jerks or... Essentially, I'm saying they're not really a target that you would want some homicidal guy to come after. And I feel like that would be the only thing that would make that opening we got work. With those characters in mind, things that I want to predict. Prediction 1. Does everyone get what they deserve? I ask this because so far I don't really care for anyone. The only one I sympathize with is the son, Kyle, since his parents are divorcing. They both sound like they're kind of jerks. Mom's a mess. Rachel, our main character. She is not doing well. Divorce is not treating her well. She overslept because she didn't set an alarm, and she's late taking her son to school. She seems to be a good mom, but at the same time, she mentions casually how she doesn't have a lock on her phone because she almost crashed the car trying to unlock it one time. And yet that doesn't stop her from using her phone while driving, which is distracted driving. Oh, I should mention the opening. Besides the opening, with the unhinged man, we have clip after clip showing crappy people. The world is getting crappier. People are crappy to each other. Let's blame technology, and nobody talks to each other anymore. Road rage, distracted drivers, the world's burning. Essentially, that's what all the clips were getting at. Everything sucks. So I decided to ask, does everyone get what they deserve? I will predict that now. Yes and no. I think Rachel probably won't learn the lesson of whatever she does to piss him off. I don't think she'll learn that that's the wrong thing to do, because since this guy's a crazed killer, she'll feel justified that he would have done that to anyone for anything, and it's not her fault. That won't be the message of the movie, but it's something that I will certainly notice when it happens, which I think it will. That said, I think she'll go through some serious trauma as this psycho will pursue her for what she sees as a very small, rude thing that will happen. I assume it'll be something like cut him off while she's on the phone, maybe. Something like that. Irresponsibility that puts her and her child in danger. As for her brother and his girlfriend, who seem to be making themselves at home without helping out, they'll probably get terrorized at some point too. I assume the unlocked phone is a sign that he'll somehow get a hold of it and then be able to track down her house or her contacts. So I predict, will everyone get what they deserve? Yep, they will. They will all undergo some shit, and they have it coming. Alright, prediction 2. Does anyone die? I think neighbor Rosie is a strong contender. I say that because she's only in it very briefly, but they make a point of her being sort of this really stereotypical mom, neighbor lady, overly cheery in the morning, has that minivan, has a license plate that says Rosie 1 on it. I feel like the movie is trying to make a point of her, so I feel like she might fall victim to this unhinged man. I will say the man himself is going to end up dead too. Other than that, I don't think anyone will die, except for maybe some other random people that we haven't been introduced to yet. I say anyone that the man encounters is free game because he has already killed 2 people. However, of the people we've met, I'm saying I think Rosie the neighbor is going to go, and the man himself. Our final third prediction and the main one, how does the movie end? I think the whole movie will be these people being chased and tormented by this crazy dude who just wants to make people suffer because he's miserable and angry and unhinged. How many times can I say that? Probably said it too many times already. They'll get injured, they'll be terrified, and they will manage to make the guy die. And by manage to make the guy die, it'll either be by making him crash his car or accidentally cause his own death, or they'll straight up run him over or something. They'll kill him. He'll die either by his accidental own hand or by the main character, Rachel. And then they all go home to be happily ever after in the divorced, messed up lives that they already have been living. Happy-ish ending. As happy as you can be with the PTSD you'll probably end up with. Poor child. He's already dealing with crappy parents getting divorced. Should be fun. Oh, by the way, did you notice my color? I picked green this time because I figured, okay, it's about road rage, right? Green for a green light. Green means go. Go movie. That's how I made that connection. In the prior movies, I always try to find a color that somewhat resembles the movie that I'm watching. So with the Rings one, I did black and white, just because black of the girl's hair, the video's in black and white. And then with the movie before that, Scream, which is Scream 5, I did red because blood. My creativity knows no bounds, and I'm sure you all noticed the connection and how it makes total sense. You're welcome. Okay, I'm gonna get to the movie. I will go watch the remainder of the movie and then come back so we can discuss whether or not my predictions were correct. Be back at the end of the movie. Well, I have finished the movie. It feels like a strange message done in poor taste. The message of the movie appears to be people are getting shittier and they don't pay attention, they don't care about anyone but themselves, blah blah. This is something that could happen if you are rude, so maybe don't be rude. But it totally gets muddled by the fact that the ending is her just kind of being almost victorious about what happened, even though people are dead. And she and her son are gonna be effed up for a while. They keep bringing up road rage too. Road rage, road rage. It's gonna keep happening more and more. Hence the muddled message as well there, because I don't think road rage is our primary problem. More that people are on their phones too much, not enough in real life kind of things going on, more and more indifference or self-centered opinions and choices, blah blah. That's the problem with society right now in America. But the movie, I'm not sure what they were trying to say. What I do know is I did end up rooting for the psycho the whole time. The only time I didn't want him to win was when the kid was in danger, because I don't want an innocent child to get hurt. Because this woman is a straight up B. She is 100% responsible. Yeah, okay. I understand. Just because you're rude to someone doesn't mean you deserve to be stalked, have people you care about killed or hurt, be hurt or terrified yourself. Sure, of course you don't deserve that. Necessarily. In the movie world, bitch, you deserved every friggin' moment this guy gave you. Ugh. Okay, here's the situation. She's already an inattentive driver. Then she drives on the shoulder of the highway, which is super illegal, gets off the highway, and then is behind this guy in his car at a light. The light turns green. He's sitting there. She honks long and hard at him once, waits, still not moving, honks long and hard at him. Turns out he'd kind of zoned out, right? That happens. It's not the greatest, but when you got stuff on your mind, it can happen. So when he pulls up beside her at the next traffic congested street, he rolls down the window, has her roll down the window, or her kid does it, whatever. Either way, so they can talk, and he wants her to apologize because he explains the least you could have done was a courtesy tap, which is where you more lightly hit the horn or do it softly a couple times just to get someone's attention. And yes, that is technically what you're supposed to do, not just lay on the horn. You only do that if someone did something real bad. He calmly and politely just explains he was indeed zoned out. He's had a rough go lately. He apologizes for that, and just, could you apologize for... Because she also not only keeps honking at him, but then when the light turns yellow, because at that point I'm pretty sure he was sitting there like, really, bitch? Yes, he should have just gone, but wow, we know from the intro that he is a psycho, so he got immediately annoyed. But he really did try, even as that psycho, to handle it well afterward. She swerved around in front of him after honking, so he asked her to apologize for doing that. For honking and swerving around like that. Not really giving them a chance to come out of it. Not really having any sympathy or empathy. And she's so rude. Even her kid is like, oh my god, Mom, don't. Her kid is politer than her. She's like, I have nothing to be sorry for or whatever. Just total bitch. Like, freaking apologize. You both did something wrong. Apologize. But no, she's got to be snobby and rude because otherwise the rest can't happen. Even at one point, she thinks she's fine, free and clear. She drops her kid off at school. She is a terrible driver. She's constantly on her phone before things go down and after, or during rather. Not paying attention, causing accidents, almost causing accidents. Which I guess is another message the movie is trying to say. Inattentive driving, except it's weird to do that with your own main character in a situation that really doesn't have anything to do with that anymore. Doesn't use her turn signal. She doesn't look both ways. Also, another thing she does is leaving the gas pump unattended. You have to stay with your car when you're filling up your tank. She deserved her phone getting stolen when she went inside while it was filling up. Come on, lady. I hate this woman. So I was rooting for the psycho the majority of the film. I suppose this keeps happening to me because any movie that I actually would want to see, I've already seen, most likely. So I keep picking movies that I haven't seen yet for a reason. They are not good movies. 3 now, and none of them were good. I would have to say that this one I enjoyed the most, simply because I was rooting for the psycho for a while, and it was just fun to watch him fuck up someone's life who's just a total self-centered bee. Acts like her problems are the only problems. Now, to the predictions. Prediction 1. Does everyone get what they deserve? Yes. The psycho guy ends up dead. He deserved that after all the people that died because he is having a bad couple of years. His life did not turn out the way he hoped. The main chick does deserve getting terrorized, but I'll still say no, because the son certainly doesn't deserve to get terrorized because his because his mom made some mistakes. The lawyer friend of hers certainly doesn't deserve what happens to him, and neither does her brother Fred's girlfriend. I'll say main cast wise, which would be primarily the main woman Rachel and the psycho Tom. He said his name is Tom Cooper. I'm assuming he's telling the truth. So, yes. Tom Cooper and Rachel get what they deserve as far as I'm concerned. She gets beat up a bit and terrorized. Will probably have some PTSD. She didn't deserve to die, but she certainly deserved something for her kind of behavior. That kind of attitude is gonna let the world burn if everyone continues with that kind of thing. Does everyone get what they deserve? Main character wise, yes. Prediction 2. Does anyone die? As I said, Tom Cooper, the psycho man, does die. Rachel kills him. She survives. Son survives. Fred's girlfriend ends up dead, and her lawyer friend ends up dead. As I said, anyone who the guy encountered that got in his way would end up dead. And sure, there were plenty of collateral damage deaths that happened in traffic and things like that. Now, we do see the psycho driving the neighbor Rosie's van, but we don't know. We can assume he didn't hurt her. They never mention it, so he must have just stolen her van. So, I was wrong about that. Rosie is fine. They just showed her so they could show her license plate to show that he was driving her car later on. She is free and clear. She's not really in this movie. And I didn't guess right about the brother's girlfriend getting killed. I didn't think that would happen. I thought they would get terrorized and attacked, but not dead. Also, the lawyer guy, I didn't think he'd be a character, but sure enough, he shows up and he gets killed. So, I was wrong with this one. I'm right in that I answered yes. Does anyone die? Yes. The guy dies. And maybe Rosie. But I'm wrong in that I didn't think anyone else who was a named character would get killed. But I was wrong, because the girlfriend Mary gets killed, and the lawyer guy, whose name I don't actually know, gets killed. So I will say I was wrong on that one. Although technically right. Because the question was, does anyone die? And that's a yes. Finally, the one that actually matters, the main one. Prediction 3, how does the movie end? Did I guess the ending correctly? I would say yes, I am correct on this. I didn't go into specifics, but in general, I said that the guy would end up getting killed by her or by his own accidental action, and I was right. She kills him. I guessed that she would survive along with her son. They do, and it ends on a somewhat happier, more upbeat note where she learns her brother will live and be fine, and they are traumatized but alive. And this lady doesn't do herself any favors. Rachel, near the end of the movie, has the opportunity. She gets away from this guy, has the opportunity to hide her car and successfully hide from this guy. He would have no idea where to find her. But instead, she leaves the car in plain sight and sets a trap. Why? Why wouldn't you just let the cops get him? Why? You and your son almost died because of it. That's on you for all the trauma he endures because of that decision. Terrible mother of the year right here. Terrible mother of the year. And that's how the movie... Well, there's one extra thing at the end that shows she's still a crap driver and has learned the wrong message. She's driving her son. She gets the green light. It's her go. But number one, she doesn't look both ways, which is a no-no. Even if you have a green, look both ways, people, okay? Don't just assume it's fine. Even so, she still had the right of way, and yet this guy comes roaring in and almost plows into them because the driver didn't bother to stop even though it was a red light, or definitely not his go. All right? she, instead of honking, doesn't, lifts her hand up, and her son's like, good call. And it's supposed to be funny, I guess. Sure, that is right when you should friggin' honk. You could have killed me and my kid. That is when you honk. That's when you're supposed to lay on the hard horn. The message is so muddled in this movie. I, I don't know if the movie knows the laws and rules of the road. So anyway, yes, I got the movie ending correct. They struggled against this guy who tormented and terrorized them, and they came out on top, or at least alive. That's the movie Unhinged. If you want a movie about road rage, in quotes, I would actually recommend the movie Joyride. It's from 2001, Joyride, with Paul Walker and Steve Zahn. That one is actually a legitimate, creepy, horror, what could happen kind of scary movie about what someone might be capable of if you mess with them while on the road. Check it out if you like. That's Joyride, 2001. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay entertained.